How's everybody doing? It's Hattie. And for the few subscribers that I do have, or people that kind of peer into my channel every once in a while to see what's going on, I'm wondering if some of you are wondering, where's Hattie been? I see these occasional racing videos pop up here, but I thought Hattie was more of a flight simmer. Well, truth be told, I've become more of a racer anymore since my flight sim has been constantly acting up. I think I'm near to the root of the problem, but I do need to run a few more test flights before I start doing that stuff again. It's probably going to be on the VATSIM network. But anyway, to the point of this video, just wanted to showcase some of my, training, let's say, for the second season here in 2013 for iRacing. I've really gotten into iRacing again. Kind of took a hiatus during the last season of 2012. And, really wasn't into it. Didn't feel like racing all that much. I kind of really wasn't feeling iRacing. It didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel natural. But recently I decided to give it another shot, and I've fallen in love with it all over again. Right now you're watching one of my practice sessions, one of my hot laps in the FR500 Mustang at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. In Season 3 of 2012, I did manage to score a victory here, running a fast time of 1:37.3. I think during this practice session I was 1 second off that. I think I might have had some drafting help during that race, but I ran about a 1:38.2, 1:38.3 during this lap you see here. I've always liked the FR500, but it is a big bitch to handle. It's like 3,400 pounds dry, no driver, no fuel, none of that stuff. And when the Mustang Challenge Series was running, it had to weigh 3,600 pounds with the driver inside it. And for a spec racer, it's pretty good, pretty solid. You can learn a lot from it. I know I have from the time I've been driving it. And, well, I'm a Ford fanboy, so ain't nothing wrong with my Mustangs. Anything Mustang, I'm all over. Or anything Ford, I'm all over it. And it really is a fun car to drive. Coming up next is actually one of my new cars, and that is the SK Well and Modified. After about a year of iRacing, I finally cleared that red rookie stripe from the back of my oval racing cars, and decided that this is what I'm going to be primarily focused on for next season. Now, the SK and Tour Modifieds from iRacing still come in a pack, and you get the SK and the Tour, and the Tour is the most powerful one. This is the SK, which is only a 350 horsepower engine, I think, is in this thing. It's a fun little car. It's got loads and loads of grip, and just enough power to kind of kick the back end out if you want to have a little fun and, maybe try to find a little speed. During this session here, it's at Lakeland Speedway down in Florida, and I'm just getting a feel for the car, getting used to it, how power is delivered to the rear wheels, how it turns in, how it accelerates off. And if you watch during this session, or during this little clip here, I get faster and faster every lap. I'm shaving maybe 2/10 off every lap, and maybe get down to the 20-second range, touching the 20-second range, if not at 20.8 here at Lakeland in this car. As you see, I step out a little bit there. Again, it's a really fun car to drive, and I had my choice between this and the National Impala SS, but the National Impala is a fixed setup race, and I'm really not feeling fixed setups, and the fixed setups for that car are just absolutely terrible. Sorry, iRacing, you really dropped the ball on that one. The cars are just way too tight, and the tracks you select for this series are way too small. But for these, it's perfect. They're really fun. Here you can see I get a little overzealous on the throttle and end up looping her around. And then here's the big boy I'm working on, is the Dallara Indy car. I've been working on this since I got iRacing, trying to get a feel for the car, and I really just got back into it because come May, I plan to race in the iRacing Indy 500. For some of you who don't know, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is literally 20 minutes up the road from me. And every May and every August and whenever the Grand Am folks come through here, that place comes alive. And it's kind of been the childhood dream of mine, like real early childhood dream, to race at Indianapolis. And when I started iRacing about a year ago, I made it my #1 goal, my ultimate goal in iRacing was to either win the iRacing Indy 500 or win the iRacing Brickyard 400. Now, iRacing just released the Gen 6 NASCARs, and my last video that I uploaded actually had the Ford Fusion Gen 6. And I'll say those cars are a handful, but it's not to the point of a frustrating handful. They are a blast to drive. But that's another story for another time. Here I'm in the IndyCar, Because, well, the Indy 500 is approaching. We're, what, less than a month away now? And what you're watching is just me running the base setup, getting a feel for this car. Loads and loads and loads of grip in this thing. Before I shot these clips, I did some experimentation with the setup. Removed some of the downforce off to see if I could get more straightaway speed. And it ended up making me slower because I had to slow down for the corners a little bit more to just make them. Like, there'd be instances where I'm just completely snow plowing through these corners, particularly in turn 1. I don't know what it is with turn 1 here in Indianapolis. Maybe it's the lighting and maybe it's the angle. It's weird how it feels diving into turn 1 because you can't really see where the apex is, the way the shadows fall. Everywhere else, though, you can easily see it and easily, guide the car in and just barely clip that rumble strip there on those insides. Now, some folks will tell you, don't touch the rumble strips, it'll upset the car, and with the base setup, it really doesn't matter because it has so much downforce. Now, I would think that removing some of that downforce and focusing more on straightaway speed would probably gain me, a couple tenths at best, because I think I was running in the low 40-second range during this little test session that I was doing here. And I know I can find more speed. And throughout my iRacing career, I've been a mid-pack kind of guy, but I did notice that during my road racing quote-unquote career, I'd go back and check my results, and in the results it tells you what splits you're divided into, and I noticed every split I was in a top split, and I ended up running top 5 to mid-pack. Now, I don't know if that's something I should be proud of, considering I'm only a C-class license as far as road racing goes, but I'm actually quite proud of that. I mean, I think anybody of my skill level, or lack thereof skill, would be proud of that. Or maybe it's just luck and nobody's on at those particular times when I'm racing, because 9 times out of 10 when I race, it's 9, 10 o'clock at night. Who knows, though? Maybe I do have some talent in me. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's all luck. All I know is I want to get faster. I want to be one of these fast guys. Whether or not I can actually get there remains to be seen. Anyway, as you can see there, I just came across the line in the IndyCar, taking a cool-down lap. It's very hard to drive. My arms are still kind of worn out, but hope you all enjoy this little update, and I'll see you guys soon.